Hey guys, Kev here, and I have a new Divo knives prototype to show you. So this is the new Divo knives TallBoy. So this is our largest folding knife to date. It's not that much larger, but it has a 3.6-inch blade. And that is quite large for a Divo knife. Let me grab a couple for comparison. So here is a Stout V2. This is a 3.3-inch blade, 7.6 or so overall. And you'll see the TallBoy here is a little bit bigger than that. From the tip here to the back of the scale is 3.6 inches. It's more like 3.5 to the very edge there of the frame. And then you're looking at an 8-inch knife overall. So for those of you who've been looking for a little bit of a larger knife from us, the TallBoy is that. So this guy is coming in prototype form. It has D2 steel. Of course, that's not what we would use in production. That's just a placeholder. Kubi uses D2 on their prototypes. We have titanium, and then we have weave carbon fiber. The materials and the finishes and everything are not really set. It's more just we get the design dialed in and all that kind of stuff, right? And from the brief time I've spent with these, I think they're pretty much good to go. I think we might make a slight adjustment on the lock bar access and actually shrink it a little bit. We might bring this, like where this line is right here, just bring it over here, something like that, so you have less access. And that's because I just have a little bit of a concern if you're holding it like this. Now, I've tested it, and unless you do something weird where you kind of twist your arm, you twist your finger like this and kind of push it over, you can't disengage it. But I could see some people maybe complaining about that. In a choked up grip, I mean, again, unless you do some weird funky stuff, you're really not going to disengage it. But I do think maybe there's just a little too much access there. But so that's an easy fix. We just bring that in a little bit. I mean, look at how much space you have. You'll still have tons of space. So we'll work on that. Colin will look at it design-wise and see how that would look best if we do that. And we're going to get it in a couple people's hands and see if they feel the same way. Maybe it's not a problem, But I do think it also kind of looks a little bit goofy here with that. So if we could bring this in just a little bit, I think it would look a little better aesthetically as well. This is our first knife with studs and a hole for deployment. So you can see there. You can actually see the barrel of the studs right here. So that hole is notched at the end of the blade window. So here's a satin one. You can see that barrel, which I think is pretty cool. We've also talked about possibly adding T8s to this so that you can take these off if you want. I don't think they'd get in the way of a sharpening system, but again, we'll talk to a few people, get some feedback, and go from there on that. But yeah, we're really excited about this one. We have this really cool radial pattern on the scales that kind of goes, right? It just gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger fractionally as it goes out. And you end up with larger areas back here and very small ones here. And I think that kind of works well with the pivot. Our pivot has that circular kind of design on it as well. We have a milled pocket clip that fits into the wire slot. This knife will just come with the milled pocket clip, but if you have a wire clip laying around or something, you could obviously use that if you want. But we did that because it makes it easy to do reversible. We don't have to worry about like putting different cutouts or anything like that. That big old screw kind of acts as a filler tab. Kind of works out that way, I think, pretty well. This clip came out really good from Kubi. They did a great job. These are Kubi OEM. We have a nice hollow grind on these. These are nice and thin behind the edge, nice and sharp as well. And then the kind of cool feature on this knife, I think, is the lock bar. So the way that Colin initially designed it was, this is kind of like a sub frame lock, I guess. It's really a liner lock with an exposed area at the top. So it's like a bolster lock in a sense, hard to explain. But you'll see you have a liner in there, and then you just have this really thick portion up here that is exposed, and that is your lock bar right there. So I think that's really cool. I want to take one of these apart real quick so that we can take a look inside. But the versions that we did on prototypes are this beautiful belt satin one with weave carbon fiber and blue accents. So this would match like the Mash. It would match the Growler V2. So I think that's pretty sick. And then, of course, you have the satin on here as well, which is kind of nice, right? Then we have one in flame titanium, which I think maybe looks a little busy with the radial pattern and the flame tie. So we didn't, you know, again, these are prototypes, so we didn't know going in how that would look. And so we probably won't do flame tie. We'll probably maybe change this to just a plain titanium. But maybe some dealers will want to get in on this with us, and then, you know, that helps us because they'll probably choose some versions on their own. There is a little bit of weight to the titanium ones. I would venture to guess they're somewhere around 4 ounces. 4.2 ounces, something like that. I mean, it's not like unmanageable for a 3.6 inch blade or anything, but if you pick up a carbon fiber one, you're like, okay, that is lighter. You do have liners in here. Let me grab mine. You have a liner on the full lock side. And I think that's for rigidity because of the size of this knife. We were able to get away with it on the Mash because it's not as big of a knife. But you have a full liner there. And then on the show side, there is no liner. So, again, it's a linerless show side knife. I mean, for a 3.6 inch blade, I bet you this weighs around the same, maybe 3 1/4 ounces or something. I'm going to go grab a scale. Actually, I'll just weigh it from over here and yell it at you. Oh my God. All right, so this comes in at 3.1, 3.2 ounces. That's pretty insane for a 3.6 inch blade. And then this guy comes in around 4.3 ounces. So about an ounce heavier with the titanium. So if you like that sturdy feel in the hand, I think the titanium's for you. If you like that lightweight, you know, then I think the carbon fiber is the way to go, right? And then we have an all blacked out carbon fiber one, black wash blade, weave carbon fiber. This thing looks menacing. You have that sheep's foot blade. It does have belly to it. Somebody on my live stream yesterday was saying it should have, it's more of a warning, but if you look at it, hopefully you can see that, right? There is light there underneath the front, the tip, and the rear. So there is belly on this puppy. We always like a little bit of belly. Then we have a bronze titanium version with all black hardware collars and everything, and a black wash blade. So again, none of these are set in stone. If you guys have certain ones you'd love to see or something, please let me know down below. Now, the stud and hole combo is pretty interesting for me. The reason I like it is because you can thumb flick it with authority, right? And then you get that reverse flick off the hole. It just, to me, is a really great combination if it's done well, because you get an amazing thumb flick and you get a great reverse flick. You get the best of both worlds, I think, right? So that's my take on that. Now, one thing to note as a lefty is, because of this design, that lock bar is exposed. So you can't really rest your finger on here. You're going to lock up the lock bar. So you got to get underneath it. This one's just really stiff. So she said, but you have to get underneath it and flick it. Or you kind of lock it up on that lock bar. And same thing goes right-handed with the thumb flick. You got to keep your fingers off of there. Now, I'm left-handed, so when I hold knives right-handed, I tend to be all over the lock bar. You guys know how to do this much better as righties. But that is something to note if you're somebody who loves a liner lock or something like that. You know, this does have a slightly exposed portion there for the lock bar. So, really stoked on these. We're going to, again, get some feedback from people quick, talk to some dealers, see what's going on, and then we're going to get this puppy into production because I love it. I absolutely love it. I still have to get one to Colin. These came in yesterday. I have to get one over to Colin to get his take, his feedback. He's excited about it. And, yeah, they're just, I mean, in hand, it's super comfortable. Choking up, really comfortable in hand. That was one other thing I was thinking was maybe we add that little Vox jimping patch we like to add up here would be nice. I was surprised when I got them. I was like, wait, why didn't we do that? You don't really need it. It's kind of like the mash where, you know, you're mostly going to be back here anyway, so maybe that's why. But, yeah, really, really cool. So we don't know exactly what's going to happen yet. We might do some fat carbons, camo carbons. We might do, you know, weave only. We might do titanium. You know, we got plenty of options, which is really cool. So let's take one of these guys apart. The one I've been kind of playing with here and have set up lefty right now is this one. So we'll take this one apart. We're going to be looking at a T8 construction on this bad boy. And this clip is mounted using obviously a screw. And then we did shape it we shaped the clip design to the knife. So I was thinking maybe we could pop these into growlers and stuff like that. I'll go grab some of those and we can test it because I know some of you guys are going to be curious. Just for shits and giggles. I think the Kubi OEM'd ones would be the best bet on this. Now the thing is, on some of these, that screw goes through and comes out here. So it might interfere, you know? So let's see first. Should slot in. You know, sometimes it's a little tricky. Could also be that they didn't match it perfectly the way we asked them to. It was supposed to fit right into, you know, the usual wire clip slots. Could just need a little bit of love. Let's try a different one. I wonder if it's different somehow. The mash, let's see. If that one doesn't fit, then we know they did it different. Yeah, so it was literally just that growler, I guess, was a little different. Sometimes they just don't fit perfectly, like tolerances or whatever, right? So let's see. So that does fit on the mash, but as you can tell, it comes off the back of the clip or the frame. So, you know, it's designed for a specific knife, and so it's not going to work with everything. And I think it would have went kind of nice with the growler, maybe. We'll see. But it does stick up there just a little bit. So not the best option on the mash there. Yeah. Let's get this bad boy back in. Sorry, I just know some of you guys are going to be curious on this. Let's see how it does on the Lush. I'm actually curious, so I'm not going to act like it's just about you guys. Let's see. So again, it's just a little bit finicky there. So we might have to ask them to just make it slightly thinner on these little tangs there. But, you know, honestly, it should fit the knife. Oh, wait, there it goes. Pretty much went in. It's probably going to be impossible to get out now. So let's see. Can I get it to thread? Because if I can get it to thread, then it'll pull in. And it actually does fit the knife pretty good. Yeah, that clip would work, I think. Now, I'm going to back off because I don't want to mess it up. But if you put enough effort into it, you could probably get that to fit. I don't know. So, I don't think we're going to go out of our way to, like, make a bunch of these or anything. But we could technically make, you know, something similar, maybe. We just feel bad taking money away from, like, Lynch Northwest and Rips Garage Tech. Those guys, you know, they have a business on, what's going on here? This is not tightening because, God, the screw on my side is, on this side is threaded into the barrel wrong. And it's not coming out. Come on. God. That is annoying. I'll show you. But I don't know if that barrel is going to come out. That's the problem. See, now it's just going to spin. Seriously? Great. Come on, just loosen over here. There we go. All right. Sorry about that. All right, that one didn't work out. We can test this side and see if somehow magically it fits in this side. Could it be a tolerance thing? But I doubt it. Yeah, just a slight offset. All right, I'm done with that. So, the point was that, I think I just used the wrong screw, didn't I? Yeah. It might work with some other knives, but it's probably going to be a rare thing. All right, let me drag that back. There we go. All right. So let's take this thing apart now. Sorry about all that. I don't even know why I did what I did, to be honest. Taking it apart from the wrong side. Good idiot. That clip could have stayed on there. All that for nothing. So standard Divo pivot collar setup. Then we have 2 body screws and the clip screw. Again, because it's a larger knife on this guy. We did go with a longer backspacer on this. Sometimes we do shorter ones. This one's, 3/4 or so. So let's see how this is set up. That's what I want to see, how they pulled this off. Because we did a few iterations when we were kind of coming up with it. So I don't know where we landed exactly. And it looks like they just milled. Did they just mill or they mount it from the inside? That's my question. I think they milled it. They did. They literally took a thick-ass piece of steel, I guess, and they milled it all out and left that chunk. That is cool. This is going to be, I think, if I remember correctly from the quote, this is going to be a little more expensive, this knife, because of, you know, the little details we're going for on it. You know, obviously we're still going to try to keep it at or under 200 with S90V and all the good stuff. But yeah, you can see some testing going on here or something. But that is the lock bar, guys. That is how that is set up. It's just milled out. And it's an aesthetic thing. That is steel, by the way. That helps us keep the cost down as well, obviously. And then we have the 5mm bearings that we see in all our Divo knives. And we can clean that up. And you can see the show side liner, no liner, I should say. And here is, instead of a washer, oh, let me do this. We have our captive pivot system. Instead of a washer, we have a inset piece of steel that houses the stop pin, which is actually moving around a little bit there. Oh, that piece is coming out. There you go. So you can see this is the washer, basically. Instead of having a washer, we have that set up right there. There's something, Kubi, we like doing internal stop pins on our knives, but Kubi, for some reason, does not like to do internal stop pins on blades. So, just something we found during our process. We also are trying to move to pass-through detent holes. This does not have one, but as we move forward, that is something we're trying to start doing more of. Sorry, I'm trying to find, there we go. I need some more of these in my kit. Here's my little disassembly kit. Sorry, it's a little all over the place because I was not super prepared for this. All right. So just clean that out. And yeah, this one had a real aggressive detent, so honestly might dial it back just a little. There we go. All right. Bearings, got it. And then on this side, you have obviously the liner. So there's actually no washers in this knife. We need, there we go, 5mm, 1/16, standard size, just to show you, because you can put skips in these. Let me get one of these, clean out the pivot. Put a cloth in. All right. Pivot keeps wanting to pop out of there. It's basically because I have the clip on the left side. Normally that scale would be flat when you're disassembling as a righty, but and I'll take a little bit of KPL and obviously end up using way too much. Chuck it across the room. All right. So in this case, I think the easiest thing to do is to just place the liner on. It's kind of how it came apart, right? Pop the liner on. Yeah. Have the stop pin fall. Where's that scale? Here it is. There we go. Pop it all on. Pivot screw. Just to get things situated. I probably have to set that pivot properly. It's not going to be in the captive, probably. All right. Drop in the hardware. It's all titanium hardware, of course. All right. Pivot is not in properly, so loosen this up. Get that turned around, pop it in place so it seats, and then we can tighten this down. We can check it. Centering looks good, maybe slightly over, but I haven't messed with it really at all. Get that collar out. Clean this screw. There we go. All right. Okay. No play, no rock. Action's good. Fire's out of there. I got some of that KPL on the blade tang. Keep breaking those off. There we go. Any play? Nope, no play at all. Drops. Brand new skiffs in there. Check all the hardware. Both sides of the knife. Rock solid. Centered up. Fires out. Yeah. I dig it. I dig it quite a bit, guys. Do I have anything here we can cut up? I mean, I grabbed some paper, but here. I have an extra one of these, the drop point. Speaking of skiff, since we have the skiff bearings and the finger bit and everything, check out the drop point. It's a weekly newsletter where you'll get updates on drops, which is cool. And also check out Skiff. Their link and my code LeftyEDC are down in the description. You can get a discount when you buy your bearings. So nice choil here, and you get nice amount of cutting in. I mean, look at that. Pew. Take a look at the plunge grind. You guys let me know what you think of it. Is that good to go? See the plunge ends, I think, like right there. So you have, I would say you have a few sharpenings. I think that's pretty good. Yeah. I really like it. I'm super happy with this model. So really, really cool. let me clean this up, and then we still have to Loctite it. Is there a trash thing here? No, of course not. All right, so just tighten it down, perfectly centered. No play, drops. Jeez, okay. Kubi, man, we really enjoy working with Kubi. I gotta say, they've been an absolute pleasure. Do they make mistakes? Yes, sir. But they tend to fix them pretty quick. Like, we have another prototype set coming for the nip, budget nip. And they accidentally didn't make the blades the shape we wanted perfectly. We wanted some that were hawkbill, and they didn't do it right. I emailed them. Next day, they're like, hey, factory fixed it. Here's a picture. And I was like, damn. Took them a day to correct that, you know? Yeah, guys. Let me know your thoughts on the TallBoy. This one might be a little divisive. I don't know. Maybe because of this thing. Maybe not. I don't know. You guys agree that that we need to bring this in a little bit here? I know lock bar access is important, but I think we have enough. We can actually bring some in and get rid of some. If we do it, you know, strategically, I think if you had like this much room to push on, you'd still be fine, you know? So let me know your thoughts on that. I'd appreciate it. Let us know your thoughts on the design overall. Versions you would like to see. Would you like us to do like what we did on the nip? You know, we did some camo carbon with matching colors and belt satin, and then we did some titanium runs with dealers. Be curious to hear your thoughts on that. This would be a direct sale through us for the most part. Again, if some dealers pick some up, then they would have them, but no pre-order or anything, I don't think. That is one thing I wanted to ask you guys. Because sometimes people get upset that we don't have enough knives, like when we do a drop. So potentially one way to solve that is to do a pre-order. Then you guys can just order however many you want, and then we can order the run. But then you have to wait, and you have to pay up front. So I don't know if there's a good way to do that. You know, we don't like pre-orders, but we also want you guys to be happy. So, you know, it is a question I've had is like, would a pre-order actually be good in some sense to make sure everybody who wants one gets one? Or do you guys like our model where we just do what we do, we drop what we can, we order more, that kind of thing? So let me know on that. I would really appreciate it. But I love you guys. Let me know your thoughts. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day. And, yeah, I'll catch you later. All right, let's take a look at the TallBoy, baby. Cutting down this box, so I figured I'd show you things like butter. Zip. Hollow ground. This is D2, but, you know, it's all about the grind. Production will be whatever it is. S90, probably. Try it right-handed, see how that relief access feels, or that lock bar access. Squeezing. Didn't feel weird or anything, and then you're probably gonna be choked up, right? I would think, but. That's gnarly, man. I mean, look at that. If I'm holding it, just slicing and dicing. Flat. Yeah. Pretty happy with it. I mean, oh yeah, clean cuts too. This stuff sometimes shreds, you know. But look at that little hot dogs. Try one of these zip ties that chip the magna cut on the axial fixed blade. This might not be a big enough one. Let's see. Oh, these are tough. There it goes. These are the easy ones. Try one more of these. I'll check that edge. Now this is a sheep's foot, so it's gonna, you know, but, well, it depends on how I'm pushing, I guess. Yeah, see, had plenty of pressure on it there. Let's see. Oh yeah, butter. Still smooth as hell. I have paper so I can prove it to you. Hang on. Find something. Some leftover cardboard. Not exactly paper, but I would call that butter, baby. There it is. TallBoy Divo prototype. Now, obviously the steel choice is going to make a difference in production, but this is just to show you the grind, the geometry is solid, right? Hollow ground, real nice and thin, but enough meat on there to get through some little bit tougher stuff. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you it's a heavy duty knife. It's meant to be, you know, fidgety knife and an EDC knife. And with this lock bar access, I wouldn't probably categorize it as hard use, just because if you really wanted to bear down, you might pop that. Again, we might look at adjusting that, not positive, but I love this thing. So there you go. Also, I found out mash pivot collars fit. Mash pivot collars, mash pivot, mash body screws, clip screw on this side. So some of the stop pin, some of it's interchangeable, which is cool. Obviously backspacer clip's not gonna work. Also, you can put a wire clip on here, but you do need a different screw because this one's too short and this one's too long. So you would need like a mash hardware kit, or maybe we'll order extra for people who want wire clips. Then you can just drop it on there. Or maybe we'll include a clip and a screw. I don't know yet. But there you go. TallBoy. Love you guys. Thanks. Peace.